When the highway is empty at 3 a.m. and the silence gets too loud, beware of what steps out in the darkness. Not everything that asks for help is human. Hello and welcome back to another episode here on Creepy with Coffee. I'm Kim, your storyteller. Tonight's story comes from a chilling first-hand account involving an overworked man, a midnight drive on the highway in Malaysia, and a terrifying passenger who refused to be left behind. If you're ready, let's get into the story.
This is Creepy with Coffee.
It all started because of a simple mistake made by some dude in Chennai. A small screw-up that forced Megat, an overworked employee, to stay back in his Cyberjaya office until way past midnight. By the time he stepped into a parking lot, the clock was inching toward 1 a.m. He hopped into his trusty Perodua Kancil 660, a tiny car but reliable, and started the lonely drive back to his rental in Bandar Baru Bangi. The usual drive home was uneventful, but not that night. As he exited the Cyberjaya Puchong Highway onto the SKVE, Megat noticed something. The road was unusually quiet, empty, not a single lorry, no headlights in the distance, just his kancil cutting through the quiet night air. Feeling the weight of the day, Megat pulled out his cigarette, cracked open the window, and lit up. The wind howled softly through the window as he leaned back, letting a song blast from his cassette player. There was no rush. Tomorrow will be his day off. Then he saw it. Up ahead, a figure emerged from the shadows by the roadside, slowly walking across the highway. Megat blinked. A tall, lanky man strolled casually onto the road and sat cross-legged in the middle of the lane like he had all the time in the world. Megat's heart began to pound, but he stayed calm. He described it later to a friend like this. Bro, out of nowhere, this guy just show up macam tu je. Do you imagine, Fizi? That tall guy walked like Goofy, just like that. Same jalan, same style. And suddenly, he just sit in the middle of the highway. Fizi, a mutual friend, was known for his odd lanky movements, so the image stuck. But this wasn't Fizi. This was something else. Megat took a long drag of his cigarette and fought back the rising panic. Three thoughts rushed through his mind. Drunkard or people that is out of their mind. Number two, maybe somebody involved in an accident nearby and currently still in shock. And number three, hantu or ghost. He shook the third idea away. Hitchhiker ghosts were always women in white, right? That's what the urban legends say, not tall, goofy-looking guys. Megat tried to stay cool. He pressed the gas and sped up slightly, determined to pretend he saw nothing. But as he passed the figure, the man lifted his hand and waved slowly, directly at him. There were no other cars around. Megat glanced at his rearview mirror. The figure was still sitting. Then he slumped forward like he was unconscious or dead. Guilt crept in. What if the guy needed help? What if he had been in an accident and someone was dying in the wreck? But at the same time, what if this was a setup, a robbery, a carjacking? His instincts waged war with his conscience. Still, something didn't sit right. He braked, put the kancil in reverse, pulled out cautiously about 5 meters away, he got out and slowly approached the men, heart thudding, eyes scanning the darkness. There were no signs of a crash, no broken guardrails, no tire marks, nothing. Standing directly behind the man, Megat spoke up. Bro. Silence. Again he asked, this time louder. Still no response. Then suddenly the man moved, but not in the way Megat expected. He didn't stand up. His torso straightened, arms stiffened backward, and then his head tilted back slowly, grotesquely, until the top of his skull touched the tar road. Megat froze, and that was when he saw it. The face, pale blue, like a bloated corpse. Skin so glossy it looked like ceramic, and worst of all, a toothless grin. 2 front teeth missing, and from the gap, the tongue flicked in and out like a snake. It grinned wider, playfully, almost mockingly. Megat collapsed to the ground, paralyzed. His limbs were numb, his breath caught in his throat. For almost a full minute, he was face to face with that thing. Its body swayed like it was dancing. A disturbing, snake-like motion. Megat forced himself to crawl back, regaining some control in his legs. He scrambled back into his car and desperately tried to start it. "Don't die on me now," he muttered. But the engine stalled. The kancil finally jolted forward and he sped away, gears grinding as he fought the fear and the transmission. But in his peripheral vision, he saw something else. On the roadside railing, something was running. Not human running, but on all fours like an animal. He kept his eyes forward, heart racing. He prayed every prayer he could remember, but it wasn't over yet. Not even close. He finally saw people, some motorcyclists parked by the lake near the Maha site, a known fishing spot. He didn't hesitate. He pulled into the dirt shoulder, stumbled out of the car and ran shouting, "Abang, abang, abang!" The fisherman, thinking he was police, panicked. One even squared up for a fight. Megat, in a state of near hysteria, explained what happened. The story stunned them into silence. The big guy, who looked like he belonged in a gangster movie, offered him a seat and told him to chill there till sunrise. Grateful, Megat waited by the lake till 5 a.m., surrounded by strangers who that night somehow became his lifeline. When he finally drove off, he didn't head straight home. Instead, he stopped at a mamak in Serdang for teh ais, trying to calm his nerves. That's when the waiter approached him and said something that made Megat's blood freeze. I will translate this in the subtitle. Cik, orang dekat dalam kereta encik dari tadi lambai-lambai. Okey ke? Megat turned slowly, and there it was, that thing, sitting inside his kancil, grinning through the windshield. Megat didn't wait. He left the car there, called up a taxi and head straight back to Ipoh. Didn't stop, didn't look back. That was the last time Megat ever drove that car. Eventually, he refused to drive it at all. Even though it served him for years, he couldn't even bring himself to touch it anymore. Eventually, he sold the kancil for 1,000 ringgit to an old Chinese man known for collecting haunted objects. Weeks later, Megat bought a brand new Perodua Viva, and to this day, he doesn't drive at night. Well, the story, it's not an advertisement for any Perodua cars. Don't worry. We are not paid by Perodua to have their brand mentioned. Yeah, they just happen to be in the story. So, if you are in Megat's shoe, driving in the middle of the night and there were no cars, no lorries on the road, and you see this, would you stop? Or would you just head straight home without thinking and knowing, or somehow knowing at the back of your head, this is actually not human? Let me know down below in the comment section. Once again, thank you very much for watching. This is Kim, Creepy with Coffee, and good night.